right, everybody. So today we're talking about the SvBony SVGo3 Action Camera. So full transparency, they did send this out to me. I used it on like a helmet mounted camera situation. I do a lot of action sports, do a lot of airsofting, and I was like, this is gonna be perfect. One of the main things that I think that it's perfect for was like that POV helmet mounted gameplay type of stuff. One of the things that actually was a really big perk was this like removable lens right here on the front. I cannot tell you how many action cameras that I've seen that don't have this. And so if this gets shot out, which I know that's like a really weird and niche thing to like worry about because no one else has to worry about that. It's nice for me because then if the lens gets damaged, like you don't have to buy a whole new camera. You can just swap that out. So that's really cool. The fact that it's 4K is awesome. I have owned GoPros in the past as well, and I've loved them. I haven't been super impressed with like the dynamic range with them. Again, it's really like niche need, but for the average consumer, the colors on this are also great. I believe this has in-body stabilization. Don't quote me on that, but compared to like the GoPro 12 that I had, this has a lot of the same features coming in at like a way cheaper price point. Because let's be honest, if you're going and buying a GoPro, like you're gonna pay for the GoPro name. It's like Nike. And so immediately they're gonna tag an extra $100, $150 on top of that, just because you're buying a GoPro. So you miss it with this. Like you get an awesome action camera for a lot cheaper than like what you might expect. So like that's cool. As far as batteries go, it's roughly the same system as GoPro where they have kind of a charging case and then like the batteries. Any action camera at this point with the battery built into the camera itself, that's a terrible idea. What are you even doing? Because consumers hate charging the whole camera. They love being able to just pop in spare things like this. It does come with a waterproof case. It came with like a bazillion attachments. Who do I think that this camera is for? If you want a GoPro, if you want absolute tip-top quality, the type of brand that can pour money into the R&D, the quality control of having just like an incredible camera, I'm not gonna lie to you, you're taking a gamble with this because the company isn't quite as known as GoPro. That's just like, duh. And so you still get a great camera, but like, if you need the really good dynamic range, if you need all of the testing, the Q&A, the user feedback, like the GoPro's the move for sure. But if you're someone that's just on a budget and you're just looking for a 4K action camera that does essentially all the same things that another GoPro would do, like this is great for that. Okay, so this thing does have a lot of strengths, but I also want to talk about its weaknesses for a second. One of the big ones, which like I've had GoPro and they also kind of suck at this, is like if I'm running and this is like mounted to me in any form, you can hear the jitter of it like shaking around in the cage or like against its mount. You can hear like the plastic clashing noise as you're like running or whatever it is. That's annoying as hell. So like there's that. The buttons on this thing are like fairly intuitive, but just know that if you're the type of operator that like needs to be able to use the buttons without actually seeing what's going on and you're just relying off of like auditory cues, this thing can be pretty confusing. So if you use it for like 2 to 3 weeks, that's probably what it's gonna take for you to be able to learn what auditory cues mean what, because sometimes you just get confused. Like you hear a beep or you hear whatever, you're like, what did that do? Like, we don't know. I would love to see some sort of like vibration of like maybe 1 vibration means you're recording, maybe 2 means that you're done, so that way I just know. So all around what I'm gonna be using it for going forward, because total transparency, I have now switched to the Insta360 X4 for the POV style content. I do think that not even GoPro or like the really high-end action cameras can even touch what Insta360 is doing right now as far as POV stuff. But however, for what my personal use is going to be, it's most likely going to be attaching this to right here for some longer form gameplay videos to kind of aim back at me. I don't do that a ton, but that's probably where this is going to live going forward. If you guys have any interest in this camera at all, I will leave a link in the description below. Thank you so much for watching.